Hello, hello! Long time no see. It's me, Jessi, and this is my channel, JessPeachee. And today I wanted to talk about what I read in January and what I hope to be reading in February. So let's get started. So right now it is January 28th, but I do not see myself finishing any other books, so I'm just going to total up the number of books I read in January, and the number of books I read in January was 4, which is not half bad considering I only planned on reading 12 books this year, so I'm already ahead of schedule. And the first 3 books in January, I read them all either in ebook format or audiobook format or both, so I don't have physical copies right now. But the first book I read was Raven by Cami Garcia. This is a graphic novel illustrated by Gabriel Piccolo. I really enjoyed this. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed the art style. I enjoyed the story. Honestly, I don't know much about Raven. I watched the original Teen Titans show, but aside from that and her demonic parenting / heritage, I really didn't know much about her. In fact, in Bombshells, I was a little confused by her character just because it's taking place in a different timeline. But I really liked this. Like I said just a second ago, I like the art style, and I look forward to maybe a sequel, hopefully. And I kept on wanting to buy this book, but I told myself no, because why is my camera moving? I wanted to buy this book so bad, and I kept telling myself no because I work at Target, as some may know, some may not. If this is your first time at my channel, hi, welcome. You can hit that subscribe button. I am doing a revamp of my channel, but let's go back to the books. I work at Target, and the department I work in is right next door to the department that handles books, Funko Pops, and DVDs. And there's a large screen TV that is always advertising different movies, different books and titles, and for the longest time it kept advertising Raven, and the trailer was so compelling, and the book was right there on the shelf, and I have a little 15% discount at the store, and I was tempted to buy it, but I told myself no, I do not need it. And that was easier to resist buying, as my library had a digital ebook format of it through Overdrive, and I was able to check that out, read it, and then return it, and I'm happy I did. I don't think I would buy it in the future, just because it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have to reread this over and over and over again. I enjoyed reading it. I wouldn't mind rereading it, but it's nothing I'm in the hurry to reread, so that's that. The next book I read, or rather listened to, was The World Ship Humility by R.R. Hayward. This was narrated on Audible by Colin Morgan, and I just had to buy it as soon as I heard that Colin Morgan was going to be narrating, because, I mean, I love him. We love him. We stan. Whatever the kids are saying nowadays. Unsurprising, I rated this 5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed Colin's narration. Why is my camera continuing to move? Stop it. Okay, so I had to take the charger out, but we should be good. I apologize for the changing perspective. My camera kept on shifting, and initially I just had to unplug the charging cable. No surprise here. I voted it. God damn. I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved Colin's narration. I loved the voices he gave to all the characters. Honestly, at the start of the book, I was having trouble keeping up with the story and keeping up with the characters and what was going on. So I did end up purchasing the ebook as well, so I could read along. It got to a point, though, that whenever I tried to read it by myself without listening to Colin narrate, in my head I was hearing his voice. I wasn't really creating voices for these characters anymore, so I finished it with the narration, and it was so good. The World Ship Humility has a couple different characters' perspectives. The 2 main characters that the book follows is Sam and Yasmin. Sam is a hacker and tech enthusiast, but his main day job is, I cannot think of it. It's the opening in the ship where the shuttles hook onto, and then like those doors open so that they can leave the shuttle and get onto the big space. What the fuck? Starting over. The world ship humility takes place in the future where the Earth is no longer habitable. So the world's richest and those who could afford tickets were able to come aboard these world ships. There's several different ones. I think there's all of 4 or 5 world ships. And these are just run by the different countries or different sections that would have been on Earth. So the world ship humility is based on the UK mostly. There's another world ship that belongs to China. There's one that belongs to Russia, and they have shuttles that take passengers back and forth and back and forth. The world ships, in order to have gotten onto them, you had to have enough money in order to buy a ticket. And that's kind of has to do with our 2 characters. Our 2 main characters are Sam and Yasmin. Sam is an airlock worker, I just remembered the word. And he mans the airlocks that the shuttles connect to on the world ships so that they can go from one world ship to another via the shuttles. Sam, his parents actually died in a shuttle crash a few years prior to the book's setting. But his ancestry, his family, they were able to afford to live on a world ship, whereas not everyone was able to afford a ticket, wasn't able to afford to be registered. And that's where our other character, Yasmin, comes into play. So Yasmin is a member of what the book calls L4s.
This is editing Jessi. I just realized that in the footage I did not go any further with Yasmin's character. But basically Yaz is a part of the L4s. They are lower class. A lot of them have not been, as I spoke before, registered on the world ship. That's basically like people living in a country but not being citizens, kind of, just because they can't afford to have their identities linked to like their wristbands, which, yeah, in the future they have wristbands, whatever, and their identities, and it's like, swipe, I can enter my house. Basically, Yaz, she grew up poor, kind of it's like a childhood. I don't think she ever lived with her parents. And some of her best friends, they either died of starvation or became criminals and crooks and gang lords. And there's one point where she then fully decides that I am sick of this life. I'm making myself a new life. I've got to make this grand heist in order to make enough money so I can get out of here, go to the farthest world ship that's away from us, and start a new life. And that's when she meets Sam and decides that she's kind of going to use him, not really use him, starts out using him once more than that afterwards, and then they meet different friends. Outside of that whole character-driven plot, there is also a plot going on with the world ships themselves, because, you know, the world ships, they left Earth seeking a new hospitable planet, and so every couple years a probe is sent out to search for a new planet, and then it comes back and it's all a party and everyone is hopeful that we found a planet, we're ready to colonize, hurrah. Never seems to happen. But yeah, let's continue on with the video.
So yes, World Ship Humility. I definitely recommend the audiobook. Colin Morgan is genius. His acting is hilarious. It's very jarring when you're so used to hearing him as Merlin or as Nathan Appleby in The Living and the Dead, or Leo in Humans. It's very jarring when suddenly he's sounding like this Cali girl news anchor. Thank you for listening. Like, he sounds like that, and then he's Russian, and then he's kind of thuggish, and it was a wild ride. I cannot wait for more. I cannot wait for the sequel. I hope he narrates the sequel, but yes, 5 out of 5 stars. Woo! And the third book I read in the month of January was Alienated. She cannot pronounce the name of the book. Great. The third book I read this month was Alienated by Melissa Landers, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars because there were some select good quotes that I just had to favorite. So the story behind me reading this, I know it's old. I think it was published in 2014. So one night I am drawing for hours and hours on my tablet, and it kind of got me missing the days during school where I would listen to audiobooks while I was really arting it up. And so on a whim, I went onto Overdrive and I looked to see what audiobooks were available from my library. I saw Alienated, Aliens, Space, Worship Humility, Colin Morgan. Okay, so we're gonna listen to Alienated, and I'm not mad that I chose Alienated. I really like it. I'm kind of upset that my library doesn't have the other audiobooks. That's a damn shame, but what are you gonna do? And it was good to be frustrated at the intolerant bigotry that is the humans, because Alienated, if you don't know, it's a story about this teenage human girl who partakes in this exchange program with a alien species called the Layers. And so there is an exchange student from the Layers who comes to live with her and her family, and they get to know each other. She's real cool with this. I wouldn't say she's cool with it. She's okay with this because she wants to be a reporter, and so she writes a blog and wants to give people more information about the Layers. And they develop a relationship. Initially it's just friendship, but then it's a YA romance, sci-fi romance. Of course there's going to be romance. It's friendship, so it turns into a more than that. And then they're kind of forced off the planet because one of Alex's fellow foreign students, actually, he gets killed by, again, bigotry and intolerant assholes. And then they all have to jump shift, and the alliance is broken, and Layers are forced to go back home. There's no more alliance. Turns out Earth is dying and will be dead in 10 years. Gee, that sounds kind of familiar. Welcome to our world, right? And just politics and people being fearful of what they don't know, and what they fear they hate, and what they hate they try to destroy or humiliate. And so it was really empowering in a way. Not empowering, wrong word. It was intense. So I was like staying up until 5 a.m. working on the art project I was working on, but having to listen to the audiobook, having to finish it, wanting to finish it, like, oh my god, I need this to continue. And then suddenly it was done, and I'm left there, no, that's not it, that's not all. So I looked up the second one on Overdrive, Invaded. They don't have it. That's okay. I'll get it somewhere else. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously it wasn't a 5 stars. I only gave it 4 stars. And we're all learning that Jessi is not a critical reader. Not yet. Whew. I really want to do fan art now that I think about it. Anyways, moving on. But yes, I recommend, if you haven't read it already, like I said, I've been under a rock and I haven't read, and I'm reading this 5 years after publication. That's cool. Whatever. Don't hate me. Shall we carry on? And lastly, the 4th book I read in January was The Guinevere Deception by Kiersten White. Loved this. 5 stars. 5 out of 5. 10 out of 5. Who knows out of 5. Loved this. Merlin, Arthur, you know, Arthurian legend. I'm all about that stuff. So I picked this up not knowing anything about the deception that is in the fucking title. And I'm over here, I didn't read the blurb inside. I just picked it up because I saw Merlin, Arthur, Guinevere. Okay. So I enjoyed this. I have tons of notes. I want to do a book review, book rant, whatever. If you're like me and you like Arthurian legend, or you like fantasy, I definitely recommend Arthurian legend to any fantasy lover. Then maybe you can delve into other Arthur stuff. But this was amazing. I don't know if I'm just a thick-headed freak, but none of the plot twists I saw coming, none of the reveals I saw coming. I should have been more wary about the last reveal just because the legends say that should have happened anyway, so why are you surprised? But I am very much looking forward to the new book. It says it's supposed to come out this year, but they haven't released a title, they haven't released a cover, so I don't know when it's coming, but I'm ready for it. And I've already bought a copy of this. This is my library book. But today I went to an independent bookstore and they had it, and I couldn't resist. Told myself I wasn't going to buy a book, and then I buy this one. Of course I did. But yes, I do recommend it. A full book rant. Is it a rant if it's a good book? I don't know. But yes, a full book talk of some sort, because it's most likely going to be spoiler full because I cannot control myself, will be coming eventually. I'm just still very terrible at talking to this thing, so we shall see when that happens. Anyway, moving on. I did say that we were doing a to be read today, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, so a book I've started, but I'm not very far in, is I wanted to reread Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is the Hufflepuff 20th edition, and I am already this far through. What page am I exactly on? 138. We are going towards Nicholas's Death Day party, which I'm here for. If you don't know Harry Potter, how long have you been on this planet? I mean, that's the only reason why I think you would not know about Harry Potter. Even my 8-year-old knows about Harry Potter. She doesn't read the books, but she knows about Harry Potter. So are you alien? Did you just recently come to this planet? But yes, magical boy finds out he's magical, goes to magical school, issues and problems and terrorizing threats ensue, and he has to save the day with his friends and teachers and yada yada yada. This is the second book, so I just spoiled a part of it, but it's not really a significant part. So yes, read Harry Potter if you've never read Harry Potter, or watch the movies. I'm not a snob where you say I'm not a snob where I'm gonna say you have to read the books first. Go do what you want. If you want to look at Daniel Radcliffe, that's fine too. If you want to imagine Daniel Radcliffe while you read this, that's cool too. You could watch the movies and then read the books like I did with Percy Jackson. Mistakes were made. I will admit that. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy both the movies and the books as separate entities. Logan Lerman, Jake Abel, handsome fellas. Alexandra Daddario, we stand. We will watch every movie that she's in, or try to, because We Have Always Lived in the Castle was a little not my speed. But yes, this is the first book I would like to finish in February. As far as the next 2 books are concerned, I told you that I went to a new to me bookstore that was local independent bookstore in my area, and the booksellers there, they gave me 2 ARCs. What? Physical ARCs! I've never had physical ARCs. So the first ARC that I have comes out March of this year, and that is Sparrow by Mary Cecilia Jackson. And this is about you know what, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't know much about this. I know it's about a ballet dancer who is sexually abused and assaulted by her boyfriend. So it's obviously a trigger warning for domestic abuse. You know what, I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to read the blurb on the back because I'm terrible and I'm sorry. Yeah. There are 2 kinds of people on the planet, hunters and prey. I thought I would be safe after my mother died. I thought I could stop searching for new places to hide. But you can't escape what you are, what you've always been. My name is Savannah Darcy Rose, and I am still prey. In the tradition of Laurie Halse Anderson's Speak, I read that book in high school. A devastating yet hopeful YA debut about a ballerina who finds the courage to confront the abuse that haunts her past and threatens her future. So yeah, not entirely something that I would normally pick up on my own, but I think I'm willing to give it a go and give it a try, because if we can't read outside our comfort zones, are we really reading to the full extent of our reading capabilities? I don't think so. And then the second book I have comes out April 7th, 2020, and that is The Burning by Laura Bates. Again, I haven't even read the blurb of the back. Can't tell you what this is about, so we're gonna read the blurb. Anna and her mother have moved hundreds of miles to put the past behind them. Anna hopes to make a fresh start and escape the harassment she's been subjected to, but then rumors and whispers start, and Anna tries to ignore what is happening by immersing herself in a history project about Maggie, a local woman accused of witchcraft in the 17th century. In her newfound friendships with Alicia, Kat, and Robin, as well as her connection with Maggie, Anna finds a voice to face her tormentors. This was about a girl who is doing a history project on a woman accused of witchcraft. I think that aspect alone is pretty cool. I'm curious as to find out what Anna's connection to Maggie is. But yes, I hope to read this after Sparrow after Harry Potter, or next to Harry Potter as well. Yes. That is all the books that I read in January and I plan on reading in February. I hope maybe in February I'll also read 4 books. That would be awesome. But yeah, I think that's all for today. I hope you have a lovely morning, a lovely night, or a lovely afternoon, wherever you are watching this, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.